of Debbie. There were tons of cars lined up there.
The newest forecast track for Debbie is in, and we're in for days of rain, along with the risk for flash flooding. When we'll start to feel Debbie's impacts and when we're triggering multiple WRAL weather alert days.
Coming up with the State Emergency Operations Center, as well as local government and Duke Energy is doing right now to prepare for Tropical Storm Debbie.
And a dramatic turn of events in the women's floor routine and beam. WRAL is live in Paris with today's biggest moments for Simone Biles and her teammates.
Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
And breaking in the last 20 minutes, Governor Roy Cooper has declared a state of emergency ahead of Tropical Storm Debbie. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Deborah Morgan.
And I'm Gerald Owens. We have our first flood watch in our area and new video from Florida showing what this storm is capable of with flooded roads and homes. The storm is blamed for at least 4 deaths so far.
We have team coverage from Wake County to Georgia, where the storm is hitting now. Meteorologist Mike Mays starts us off in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with the impacts expected here in the Triangle and the tropical storm watch now along the coast. Mike?
During the 5 o'clock advisory, Deb, we were added to a tropical storm watch for the lower southeast coast up to about Cape Fear, and then there's the tropical storm warnings farther to the south. And at some point that will likely be upgraded to a tropical storm warning. And if Debbie does intensify, perhaps parts of this area would be upgraded to a hurricane watch and maybe a hurricane warning. We'll have to watch how this all evolves. Also, there's a storm surge watch for our southern facing beaches. Peak storm surge there, inundation between 2 to 4 feet. Of course, you would expect beach erosion, heavy surf, high rip current threats all throughout this area. So not safe to be down east of the coast as the storm comes on by. And here's another look at our flood watch that starts tomorrow and lasts through Friday. We believe the heaviest rain would be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's why we've issued WRAL weather alert days for all 3 of those days. Between 4 to 10 inches of rain is expected in this area. Locally, higher totals are possible and flooding is likely. All those flood prone areas that when we see heavy tropical rainfalls will likely flood from this. Not looking at a repeat of Florence kind of rain, but very heavy rainfall, especially at the lower coast. There's where the storm is located right now. Top winds 50 miles per hour. And when we get to Thursday, 2 a.m., top winds are at 50. It's possible it could strengthen up to 65 to 70 mile per hour winds before making landfall. And if you go back and remember September 2022, when Ian was in the same location, it became a hurricane. Top winds were at 85 when it made landfall around Georgetown, and it moved up to the north. And this is looking eerily familiar, that kind of track. By 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, top winds are at 35 miles per hour. With that, we saw winds gusting up to 50 miles per hour with Ian back in September 2022. Not sure if it's going to be the same with this, depending on how strong it is when it makes landfall, but expect to lose power and expect to have some heavy rainfall. And by Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock, top winds are at 35 miles per hour. That's where the storm is located right now, and due to its slow movement, it will dump copious amounts of rain. They're talking about historic flooding around the Charleston area. Some locations could be up to 30 inches of rain. This would put some of the roads here underwater. Now, we'll talk about when that rain arrives here and how long it lasts coming up in less than 15 minutes.
All right, we'll see you then, Mike. Thank you. This storm continues to dump heavy rain in parts of Florida and Georgia. This is a live look at Jacksonville, Florida. Can't see much in this camera, but you can tell how much the wind is blowing it around, and you know the rain is falling heavily there. Brian Schrader continues our live coverage from the Live Center, keeping an eye on the feeds up and down the East Coast. Brian, what do you think so far?
Well, tonight and through the duration of this storm, we're going to be tracking all of this for you in the WRAL Live Center. You showed us that picture from Jacksonville, Florida. This is up above the ground a little bit on a TV tower, but you can see where the winds are blowing around out there. I just checked the latest observation at the Jacksonville airport. They've got gusts to 42 miles an hour right now as Debbie passes not too far away. Also want to take you to live pictures from Charleston, South Carolina. Already they've been dealing with street flooding this afternoon. They've had 2.5 inches of rain so far, and it looks like they could see up to 20 inches over the next few days.
All right, Brian, thank you. The bulk of that storm is in Georgia right now. Meteorologist Amy Wilmoth and photojournalist Jamie Munden drove the storm tracker more than 300 miles to the Savannah area. Amy joins us now live with a current look at the conditions there. Amy?
We just this second, our alarms were going off on our phones. We got put under another tornado warning here in Savannah. That's the second one that we've run into so far today. I just checked the radar. we're good to go for now. But I did want to show you what the road looks like here. We came to this area because we heard about a car stuck in the water. There's actually multiple cars stuck in water, and we came across this area that we can't pass because it's covered in water. So they're already seeing roads covered in water, and this is with 4.5 inches of rain. And we're talking 20 inches, isolated 30-inch totals possible. So this is going to be a huge event. We did have video taken a short time ago with one of the first rain bands as we were driving through Savannah. It was tough to navigate the roads. They were getting covered in water quickly, and it was very, very windy. So far, the strongest gust we've had that I've seen on our weather station here on the storm tracker has been 35-mile-per-hour gusts. So we have had some gusty winds, but I do think that the bigger threat here is going to be all of the rain. We're actually now under a flash flood warning until 11:30 tonight. That's the longest flash flood warning I've ever heard of, but that's because things are not going to get better here anytime soon. We'll bring you more updates as we drive through Savannah, and eventually we're going to make our way back to North Carolina as Debbie nears the North Carolina state line.
All right, thank you, Amy. We could see power outages over the next several days from this storm. Duke Energy Progress is preparing for any problems in their coverage areas of North and South Carolina. WRAL's Chelsea Donovan is live in Raleigh tonight with how state and local emergency crews are getting ready for this storm. Chelsea?
Yeah, so Gerald, I spoke with state, local authorities as well as Duke Energy today. And of course, all of them spent the weekend getting those resources together. They're ready to respond. And of course, their main concern is those torrential rains leading to flooding. Preps are underway here in the Triangle for Tropical Storm Debbie, from clearing and checking storm drains to putting power crews on standby.
We've got, hundreds and hundreds of resources in central and eastern North Carolina. Now, fortunately, we've done a lot of grid strengthening in the portions of eastern North Carolina and in the PD region of South Carolina. Duke Energy ready to respond to downed trees and power lines. You've got saturated ground, and when you bring in the potential of some wind, there's definitely the potential for outages as well. Which means you need to have your hurricane or storm kit ready.
Prepare now if you've not already done so. You need to go to readync.gov, and you should have a disaster kit in your home and a plan in place. State and Wake County officials tell me they are greatly concerned about flooding with a storm that could stall for days. So for this event, flooding is the main issue that we're looking into. It's with the rainfall forecasts anywhere from 4 to 12 inches across the state. That means don't get in your car and drive around. Staying put is the best option.
Don't risk it. We do know that there's going to be high winds. There's going to be an excessive amount of rain. We anticipate flooding. That makes roadways dangerous. It only takes a couple of inches of water to move a car.
And lastly, stay informed.
If you don't have emergency alert capabilities activated on your phone, go ahead and turn those on.
All right, we've said it before and we're going to say it again. Don't drive through standing water. You're always going to avoid downed trees and power lines. Simply report those to authorities. We're live in Raleigh. Chelsea Donovan, WRAL News.
Today, Governor Cooper spoke on MSNBC, saying officials across North Carolina will be prepared for potential impacts.
Well, first, we're offering assistance to our southern neighbors if they need it. And as long as we don't need it in North Carolina, we expect some flooding to occur in our southeastern counties. I'm in constant touch with our emergency management officials. I think we've got one of the best teams in the country.
Once we learned about the new watches, we sent a push alert to your phone. Download the WRAL News app to receive updates throughout the day on breaking news and weather.
Let's talk about Olympics. It was another busy day filled with some major performances from top American athletes in Paris.
Simone Biles won silver in the individual floor exercise. The U.S. women 3-on-3 basketball team clinched a spot on the podium, and Noah Lyles was back on the track, winning the 200-meter round one heat.
WRAL's Ashley Rowe is here with us now. Ashley, tomorrow the men's basketball team will play in the quarterfinals, and North Carolina's Bam Adebayo is looking forward to representing the Tar Heel State.
Gerald, Deborah, Bam Adebayo played basketball in high school in North Carolina at High Point Christian Academy. Now he plays for the Miami Heat, and he has an opportunity to secure his second Olympic gold medal. The 27-year-old has a solid showing at the Olympics so far, getting 18 points in the game against South Sudan and 3 points and 5 rebounds on Saturday. In an interview ahead of tomorrow's game, he says he's looking forward to representing North Carolina on the world stage.
Being able to rep North Carolina, being able to understand, we got a lot of talent that's came out of North Carolina. So being one of those ones, it's great for us to have the opportunity to showcase it at a world level.
The U.S. men's basketball team will play Brazil in the knockout round tomorrow at 3:30, Deborah.
So excited. I cannot wait for that game. All right. Thanks so much, Ashley. Now let's take a look at the current medal count. The U.S. is in the lead with 77 medals. China is in second place with 53. France, Great Britain, and Australia aren't too far behind.
This afternoon, we learned that Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance will make a campaign stop to Raleigh this week, the same day Vice President Kamala Harris will be here. Vance is holding a rally at Raleigh's Union Station Thursday morning at 9. This will be his first visit to North Carolina since becoming the vice presidential nominee. A few hours later, Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate are scheduled to speak in our area. She'll make her first public appearance with her VP pick tomorrow in Philadelphia. She then plans to crisscross America with that pick to meet voters hoping to gain their support, and one of the stops will be Thursday at Research Triangle Park.
The sun has set on another day of competition at the Olympics. Coming up, we're going to take you live to Paris. Brian?
Here at the WRAL Live Center, we are following breaking news, reports of an attack on U.S. troops in Iraq. Also, we're going to talk more about Debbie, take you to live pictures from Myrtle Beach. All next on WRAL News.
Ahead for us, deadly Hurricane Debbie, now a tropical storm, but about to hit the southeast with historic rainfall and potentially catastrophic flooding. Plus, how they were able to tell that Noah Lyles won by a hair in that remarkable sprint on Nightly News.
Looking live at Wrightsville Beach, where some of the impacts of Tropical Storm Debbie will soon be felt. You can see the high clouds there. Not many people out on the beach. We're going to be keeping an eye on some of these outer bands and all the rainfall coming our way. You're watching WRAL News, available on YouTube TV, Spectrum, and the WRAL app on your TV or streaming device.
And here in the WRAL Live Center, need to let you know about some breaking news. Over the past 30 minutes, we have learned that an apparent rocket attack on the Al-Assad air base just west of Baghdad apparently has injured several U.S. personnel. That's according to the Pentagon. At this point, they are doing a damage assessment to try to size up exactly how much damage there has been. No details about the extent of those injuries. Look for more coming up on NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt at 6:30. No one has claimed responsibility for those attacks, but in recent weeks, Iranian-backed militia groups have resumed those rocket attacks on bases housing U.S. personnel in Iraq and Syria. Let's talk about Debbie now. I want to take you to live pictures from South Carolina. This is a live look at Myrtle Beach, where it does not look like a pleasant evening to be at the beach here. They've got a lot of rain starting to move in there, and you can see where the waves are kicking up a little bit. Just a few minutes away from an update from Mike Mays with the latest on what we can expect here later this week.
All right, Brian, thank you. The world's top athletes gave it their all on the track, in the field, and on the mat today.
WR's Liz McLaughlin is live in Paris with some of the biggest moments. Liz, more medals for Team USA.
That's right, Gerald, Deborah, and lots of drama in Bercy Arena today on that last day of gymnastics, including a last-minute score change. And Simone Biles was going for her fourth gold in the floor final, but some missteps paved the way for an upset. But the trio of winners made history as the first all-black podium in gymnastics Olympic history.
It was not the golden goodbye Simone Biles might have hoped for in Paris. A fall off the balance beam denied her a medal, and 2 steps out of bounds forced her to settle for silver in floor exercise.
I'm not very upset or anything about my performance at the Olympics. I'm actually very happy, proud, and even more excited that it's over.
Teammate Jordan Childs initially finished 5th, but was elevated to bronze after a requested review of the difficulty score of her routine.
When it came through, I was very proud of myself. You know, it was my first event final and my first event medal. This is crazy.
A second look also came into play in the mixed triathlon relay. Initially, the U.S. came in 3rd, but after a closer look at the photo finish, the Americans were moved up to silver, just ahead of Great Britain.
That just shows that, you can't give up until you get to the finish line because, it's decided by the smallest of margins.
Italy edged out the U.S. 45-44 in the mixed team skeet competition, handing 4-time gold medalist Vincent Hancock his first silver. Noah Lyles breezed through his opening heat of the 200-meter race. And with a packed stadium, crowd cheering him on, Sweden's Mondo Duplantis broke his own world record by 1 centimeter, winning the pole vault. American Sam Kendrick got the silver.
An equestrian competition is underway at the iconic Versailles venue, and athletes are showing up in style. I'm wearing the dressage jacket you might have seen some equestrians wearing, and Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart also sporting a similar jacket when they paid a visit over the weekend. 2 Americans have made it into the individual jumping final, including Carl Cook, who's made perfect runs so far, and Laura Kraut, who's Team USA's oldest member at 58 years young. And I also have a mask here, too. I'll show you guys. That the horses wear. So they're in style too, it keeps flies out of their ears, prevents infection, and it looks pretty cool too. Deb, Gerald.
Absolutely. Hey, Liz, there's one local story in Paris that you haven't mentioned yet.
Yes, it's your birthday, so happy birthday. What a place to be able to celebrate.
Happy birthday, Liz.
Oh, thanks, guys. Yeah, I treated myself to sleep most of the day. Thanks.
You've earned it.
Well, enjoy your time there. Thank you, Liz.
All right, meteorologist Mike May is with us. Mike, we're all, of course, watching Debbie as the storm moves its way up the East Coast and what it may bring here.
Yeah, we should start to see the impacts here on Tuesday. We have WRAL weather alert days for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And as of right now, and this is new, the highest risk for flooding should come on Thursday. You see the red for Raleigh and Fayetteville. This is when we anticipate the heaviest rainfall moving in late Thursday night, and Friday morning. This is when we're most likely to have flood advisories and flash flood warnings. Now, it's all just beginning right now. This is the leading edge of Debbie starting to make its way into our southern counties. It's already in Charleston right now. And due to the slow movement of the storm, this will slowly make its way to the north and west. And all the showers locally that we're seeing will gradually die down, and it'll be a quiet night tonight. So there is Debbie. It's made landfall. Top winds now are about 50 miles per hour. Very heavy rain occurring. And as we talked to Amy Wilmoth shortly, a short time ago, another tornado warning in her neighborhood. And she is in the WRAL storm tracker and will be in the leading edge of the storm as it makes its way up the coast, and we'll stay in advance of ahead of it, I should say. So this is the 24-hour rainfall, Doppler radar rainfall estimates. There's Tallahassee, Florida. There's Jacksonville, and a large area saw so far between 10 to 15 inches. There's some locations that 14.3, south of Gainesville 6.4, just to the west of Jacksonville 11.2, and the rain's still coming down in this area, and it will continue to move up toward the north. And there have been power outages, as you would expect with this. Not a huge amount, but there are some from Tallahassee all the way up to about over toward Ocala and Live Oak. And the power outages will likely increase as the storm moves up toward the north and east. And for us, Thursday and Friday, we're talking about a medium risk for power outages from Fayetteville to Wilmington, lower risk points northward from Raleigh up towards southern Virginia. But have the anticipation that you're going to lose power because of the gusty winds between 35 to 40 miles per hour in the saturated ground. We're likely to see sporadic power outages, maybe some that could last a little bit of time. So Futurecast starting this evening at 6 o'clock. That's where the storm is located. This is the model that did very well with Ian, showing the storm making its way toward Georgetown with top winds at 85 miles per hour. This is going back over water, so we have to be cognizant that it could become a hurricane once again. 7 a.m. on Wednesday, it's off the coast of Charleston, moving up toward the north, making its way just Amy Wilmoth, I understand, is saying there are tornado sirens in Savannah right now. So hopefully she is safe, and the storm will continue to move to the north and eventually make its way into Raleigh during the day on Friday, at least the center of circulation. Wind speeds, the maximum ones we're looking at 39 mile per hour gusts in Raleigh, 46 in Fayetteville, 61 in Wilmington. So this is enough to be pushing some trees down. And I suspect the strongest winds would be coming in on Friday. So our 7-day forecast, 3 WRAL weather alert days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 100% chance of rain on Thursday, 100% into the first part of the day on Friday. And then over the weekend, drier weather, upper 80s. And there may even be a little drop in humidity by the time we get to Sunday and Monday. That'll bring the temperatures down just a bit. But tomorrow it will begin and then just pick up in coverage. The worst days should be Thursday and into Friday.
All right, Mike, thank you.
Still ahead, a K-9 from our area gets his final goodbye, how the law enforcement community is remembering him. A beloved Apex police K-9 who died from a medical issue received a final goodbye today.
Zeus was Officer Joe Asmussen's companion for the last 9 years. Apex Police, along with several other departments, honored him today. Officer Asmussen carried his ashes as he shared his loss.
Only a few of us are aware of this, but last weekend I completed paperwork to submit for Zeus's retirement, for him to officially retire on September 1st. As I struggle with the fact that Zeus never retired, the reality is Zeus loved working. It was his life. He was so good at it, and he worked all the way up until the end.
The officer said Zeus never left his side and was lying next to him as he wrote the memorandum to retire him. Zeus died last Tuesday after battling an illness. Thank you for joining us. We're just minutes away from NBC Nightly News. Tonight, live with the impact of Debbie on Florida and the threat of several severe flooding in the southeast.
And tonight at 7, we are just 3 months out from Election Day. WRAL Investigates is taking a closer look at a major shift in voter registration across North Carolina. That and the latest impacts on North Carolina from Tropical Storm Debbie when you join us at 7.